Good evening. Absentee voting, the new BMV hours, Huntingburg Utility Board and Common Council meeting, and of course more local stories, sports, and weather are coming up here on the 18 WJTS News. This is the WJTS News. I'm Charlotte Olson. The progress of stellar projects around the city of Huntingburg are changing each day, according to Mayor Denny Spinner, as he described the continuous process during an update at last night's Huntingburg City Council meeting. Spinner mentioned a slogan used for the construction, and it's part in our progress. We're building a stellar community, which the mayor explained while acknowledging residents' concerns in regards to the inconveniences that folks have experienced, but patience from the community is helping project advance and also helps them move forward. Greg Miller, superintendent for the City of Huntingburg Water Department, also touched upon the involvement that residents have, such as out-of-town construction companies, as he talks about the 4th Street Waterline projects and says that they are there to help the promote move along more smoothly. In other items discussed last night, City Attorney Phil Schneider brought up recommendations to finalize an approval for ordinance repeals that were discussed in a previous meeting regarding firearms and the use of weapons within city limits. Schneider says that the recommendations are needed to be carried out in order to stay in compliance with what is already set in place by the state regarding safety protocol and also measures with such topics. Also last night, Schneider brought up the observance that there needs to be a review of a building ordinance. Mayor Denny Spinner elaborates on the steps that the city attorney will take regarding this ordinance.
So what Attorney Schneider will be doing coming up at a coming meeting, will be drafting some proposed changes in our ordinances that allow for that structure to happen, that allows a fee structure to be put in place to recover the cost of that. And in actuality, it'll be at a cost savings to the builders and to the contractors, because at this point, should they have to come up with this certificate, they go out and hire someone to provide this service for them. We feel that if it's a service that they can get through the city, we can do that at a reduced cost, pass on any cost to the contractor, and it would be better for both sides. So it's an ordinance that we're going to have to study and consider, but I think it's a real positive step for Huntingburg and for Du Bois County to have this tool in place.
This is an ongoing discussion with officials in Huntingburg, Jasper, and Ferdinand that have been in review for about a year because each community has ongoing projects that involve state tax credits that may require a certificate of occupancy. By year's end, there will be more progress by all 3 communities to have something in place regarding the topic, as Huntingburg is currently moving along the building ordinance review since the loft project requires a certificate as the project comes to completion. Spinner says that it is also a certificate that also can benefit homeowners as well.
Right. For the advantage for the homeowner would be that many homeowners who might get an FHA loan or a USDA loan, they may be required to provide this occupancy, but also it's an issue of from an insurance standpoint. If this is something that they can show their insurer that the home was built properly, that there's a good advantage there, and it also will be an advantage to the homeowner at the point where they want to sell their home. They can show the buyer in the future that this was a properly constructed building, and it's something that would probably add value in the resale.
Spinner sees the review and the changes to the building ordinance as a positive step for Huntingburg and the surrounding communities. Monday night, the Greater Jasper School Board agreed to allow students to once again access an e-learning flex day year spring. Superintendent Dr. Tracy Lorai explained that the students responded well to the e-learning day that took place back on March the 9th. Jasper Middle School was one of the few schools selected in Indiana to pilot an e-learning day that allows students to attend school at home during a regular school day. With wireless connection at home, students were able to access their courses and remotely participate in school learning. The purpose of this day is for students to explore the use of technology, and for those students who are able to use these types of resources, including school breakfasts, lunches, and bus routes, as if it were a regular day. Other ways that the district encouraged students to expand their learning is through field trips. Almost each month, there are requests from the teachers or students for field trips to be approved, and this month, Lorai recommended that the Jasper High School cheerleaders attend a cheer camp at Indiana University. A group of students who seek to travel Rome, Athens, and other areas in Europe, and another who will be traveling to Knoxville, Tennessee from the Destination Imagination team, students for a global competition. Laura elaborates on the significance of providing support to students that not only represent the schools well through competitions and field trips, but can also benefit with their experiences.
Our goal is not only to provide our students with a rigorous academic experience, but we also want to make sure that we provide them with a well-rounded experience. And so anytime kids have an opportunity to participate in the arts or athletics, that really does give them that well-rounded experience. And then travel that's associated with that just lets them to see the world outside of our local community and just enriches their learning.
One other note from Monday night, the Greater Jasper School Board heard that the 8th grade achievement ceremony will take place at 7 p.m. on Thursday, May the 26th in the Black Gym at the middle school. And high school commencement will begin at 6:30 Friday evening, May 27th in the Jasper High School Gymnasium. Voters wanting to cast their ballots for next week's primary election are reminded that the DuBois County Courthouse will be open for absentee voting today from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. for voting, as well as tomorrow and Friday from 4 and Saturday from 8 until 3. DuBois County Clerk Bridget Jarboe says that they have seen a steady stream of voters as of yesterday and have had over 1,100 people walk into the courthouse to vote, including the 31 people who voted last Saturday at Huntingburg. Also, voting hours are available at locations in Ferdinand and in Huntingburg starting Wednesday and Thursday from 11 until 6, Friday 11 to 5, and Saturday from 8 until noon. Once again, voters wanting to cast their ballots for next week's primary election are reminded that the DuBois County Courthouse will be open for absentee voting today from 8 a.m. until 6, and for voting as well as tomorrow on Friday and Thursday and Friday from 4 until 8. Saturday from 8 until 3, and also voting hours are available at locations in Ferdinand and Huntingburg starting Wednesday, today, and Thursday from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m., Friday 11 until 5 p.m., Saturday from 8 until noon. The Indiana primary election will take place next Tuesday on May the 3rd. Meanwhile, the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles says that BMV licensed branches across the state will extend their hours on operation on Monday and Tuesdays to issue ID cards and driver's license that may be used for identification at polling places. Branches will be open Monday from 8:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. and Tuesday from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. These licensed branches will only process new, amend, or replacement ID cards and renewed, amended, or replacement driver's licenses and learner permits. The Indiana BMV provides free state-issued ID cards for voting purposes to any unlicensed Hoosier, as long as he or she can provide proper documentation and will be at least 18 years of age and or older before the next general or citywide election. Documents required to obtain a new state ID card or driver's license include proof of identification, such as a birth certificate or passport, proof of a Social Security document, such as a Social Security card, pay stub or W-2, proof of lawful status, such as a birth certificate or passport, and proof of residency, 2 documents such as voter registration card, utility bill, or a bank statement. All licensed branches will resume regular business hours starting next Wednesday. The newly formed DuBois County Coalition for Adolescents Resilience and Empowerment Strategies, are also known as CARES, will hold their 4th and final meeting this evening. The group was recently formed because of 1 in 4 sophomores in DuBois County drink alcohol on a monthly basis, and it's easier for youth to get their hands on marijuana than alcohol. Both are staggering thoughts that are of concern to community members and parents, and the new group has been formed in DuBois County to address local issues of alcohol and drug use among youth. In previous meetings, community conversations have focused on how alcohol and drug use, specifically marijuana, is impacting youth, families, and of course the DuBois County as a whole. Community meetings are an opportunity to learn more about alcohol and drug use among youth and how to talk to youth about issues with substance abuse and ways you can help the coalition achieve its mission to empower youth to be drug and alcohol free. Community conversations are open to the public and are free of charge, and tonight's final conversation is at the Tri-County YMCA in Ferdinand and will begin at 7 p.m. and parents, grandparents, community members, and those who work with youth are all encouraged to attend the meeting. Make sure to keep it right here because up next we'll take a look at your weather summary.